What is Tu Bishvat and why is it so important? So actually, if you look in the Mishnah in the Talmud, Tu Bishvat is somewhat of a negligible date. It says that Tu Bishvat is Rosh Hashanah Le'ilanot, which means that the years with regard to the tithes of fruit and with regard to trees are counted beginning Tu Bishvat. Tu Bishvat is the cutoff line. There's actually a disagreement between Beit Shammai and Beit Hillel, and the way we follow it is of the way of Beit Hillel. We count years for the trees for agricultural purposes. In Israel, the cutoff line is Tu Bishvat. So it's really sort of this technical, bureaucratic day. However, it has many more mystical meanings and became much more observed recently, especially with the return of Jews to Eretz Yisrael. And to understand this, we have to look at a story that took place with the Roman Caesar Hadrian. The Talmud tells us that Hadrian is passing next to an old man, and the old man is planting a fig tree. And Hadrian tells him, "What are you doing? You're an old man. You're not going to be able to eat from this tree. Why are you bothering with all this work? And why are you planting this tree that you'll never eat from?" It's important to note that even though that is what the Talmud shares with us, there is a much broader historical context, and that is that Hadrian is the destroyer of Israel. He uproots towns. He crushes the Great Rebellion. He expels Jews. He sells them as slaves. He burns forests. He really is the destroyer of the land of Israel. So he's wondering about this Jew planting a tree in Israel. It's not just the man's age. It is much more than that. And so the old man wisely answers him and says, "Just like I came to this world, and I came to a world filled with trees which I did not plant. I came to a world that was all ready for me. So too I am planting for future generations." And the Talmud says that years later, Hadrian passed in the exact same spot and saw the old man eating the fruit. But the idea here is the old man was telling Hadrian, if you think this is the end of Israel, if you think that by you cutting down these trees, it's over, it's not over, because there will be people like me. There will be people who are always believing and always having faith and always planting trees and reviving this land. And that's exactly what happened in 1903 with the establishment of the JNF and a massive campaign that successfully planted hundreds of millions of trees in the land of Israel and helped make it the oasis in the desert that we know it to be today. So Tu Bishvat is a time to celebrate the trees. It's a time to celebrate hope. It's a time to celebrate a belief in a world that will be repaired, a belief in a world that even if things seem difficult will get better, and it's a belief in the return of the Jewish people to Eretz Yisrael, the return of the Jewish people to the land, and their commitment that no matter how destroyed, no matter how deserted the land may be, we will always plant trees, we will always revive the land, and we will always make sure that it is the beautiful land that Hashem promised us. Wishing everyone a very happy Tu Bishvat.